The ramifications of not having an orgasm may be more severe than the temporary ego degradation of your partner. They have been shown to impact levels of commitment and relationship satisfaction. This may explain why over 80% of women have faked an orgasm in their lifetime. Despite decades of scientific research, the functional significance of the female orgasm remains inconclusive. This is primarily because, unlike men, there is no clear association between women's orgasm and a physiological process mandatory for reproduction. The difficulty of female orgasm has, in some cases, piloted suggestions that female orgasm is simply a non-functional byproduct of developmental pathways that women share with men, while others have presented evidence that an orgasm is an adaptation in women. Consequently, the absence of female orgasm during sexual intercourse negatively impacts commitment and relationship satisfaction on part of the woman. Because of this, more women should be aware of the functional significance of her orgasm in choosing a mate. There have been many studies that show the role of women's orgasms in increasing the likelihood of conception. According to researchers, neural activation and endocrine changes that occur with orgasm cause contractions of the uterus that may facilitate fertilization, increasing the likelihood of conception. Baker and Bellis found that the female orgasm within 1 minute before and 45 minutes after ejaculation was associated with higher sperm retention than was no orgasm or orgasm at other times. Several studies have suggested that female orgasm frequently is positively influenced by male attractiveness. This suggests that the genetic quality of males does in fact increase the likelihood of female orgasm, specifically during penetration, which suggests it is an adaptation for conception. Since this study was conducted on a large sample size, 439 women, the evidence is highly suggestive that male attractiveness predicts the probability of female orgasm. Physical attraction is a sign for health, fertility, and optimal genes. According to a study by Gallup and White, the breadth of a male's shoulders correlated with how women independently rate his facial attractiveness. Broad shoulders are positively correlated with grip strength, which is a testosterone-sensitive trait. Genetic quality is also related to physical attractiveness through symmetry. Thornhill suggested that physical symmetry is an outward indication of gene quality. It was found that the frequency of female orgasm was significantly higher when their partner's physical features were symmetrical. This data lies in favor of the hypothesis that female orgasms are an evolutionary adaptation to select mates of superior genetic quality. Assuring the male of commitment and the potentiality of offspring may also involve outward expressions of orgasm. The outward expression of female orgasm, such as clutching and vocalizations, may convince the male that his partner is bonded, encouraging his investment in the relationship. However, evidence also suggests that women sometimes manipulate men's perceptions of their relationships by purposely showing common outward expressions of orgasms or faking them altogether. Faking orgasms may not be very beneficial because the absence of orgasms are probably a sign that the partner would not be an optimal mate. Consequently, there is considerable evidence that orgasm frequency and sexual satisfaction predict relationship satisfaction and therefore serve as an adaptation to find a mate in which they will experience relationship satisfaction and commitment. The tendency for a male to sacrifice his sexual needs over the sexual needs of his partner may imply his willingness to be invested and committed to the female partner and future offspring. Although research suggests female orgasms may facilitate pair bonding, emotional closeness may also facilitate the orgasm. Oxytocin, a hormone released during sexual intercourse, may facilitate the relationship between orgasm and pair bonding. Oxytocin also leads to increased trust, empathy, and cooperation. Eschler found that 82% of women agreed that emotional closeness was an important factor in vaginal intercourse, and women in relationships who have difficulty becoming aroused and achieving orgasm most commonly cite emotional and relationship difficulties as the cause. In another study by Armstrong, women in long-term relationships were 50% more likely to have orgasms during their last copulation if they reported it was somewhat likely they would marry their partner, compared to women who did not believe they would marry their partner. Unsurprisingly, it was found that women with avoidant attachment styles, fears of emotional intimacy, have lower orgasmic frequency than women with secure attachment style. It was determined that 11% of women had orgasm during their last hookup, whereas 67% had orgasmed during their last sexual encounter in a long-term relationship. This furthers the hypothesis that level of commitment influences likelihood of enhanced orgasm and sexual satisfaction. Women should recognize that perhaps their inability to orgasm means they are not with the right partner, or that they need to work on their relationship sexually or emotionally. The inability to orgasm may be a sign that the current sexual partner does not possess optimal genes, or that his willingness to invest in a future marriage and offspring is substandard. If men who are willing to try everything to incite orgasm are considered an optimal mate, then faking an orgasm may actually be putting the woman at a disadvantage. If the male partner lacks knowledge of the validity of the female partner's orgasm, he will never do anything to fix it.